What is going on, crypto miners, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have from the team over at DTV Electronics the brand new Bitforge Nano home solo Bitcoin miner. But why do we have two? Well, we don't need this one right now, but I think we'll talk about that later on in today's video. Let's take a closer look at the Nano. So what excites me about this brand new home solo Bitcoin miner is the fact that this is actually built for home miners by a group of home miners, which is absolutely exciting. So let's get this unboxed here. Some of the things that I look forward to that I checked out on their website already is two things that stand out. One, it is open source, and two, it has 3 total power modes on it, which is very uncommon for most traditional home miners. So here's our box here. Nice little white, says Bitforge Nano there, has the logo. The website here, bitforge.info. I'll also link this directly down below if you guys do want to go over and check this out. Let me grab my knife here. Let's get this plastic. The box is really, really nice, but we're not here for the box. We're here for what's inside. That's exciting for us here. All right. Plastic off, which is great. All right, moment of truth. Here we go. Oh, that anticipation. All right, so here's what we see right away out of the box. It has the really cool Bitforge, and this is actually etched in kind of logo there. Let's see if this pulls out. Oh, check that out. That is very cool. We'll take a look at what else is inside the box here in just a minute. So let's kind of walk around this a little bit. So the Bitforge Nano, we're just going to rotate this around here. I can see we have, kind of give you guys a good look there. We can see we have a nice heat sink in there, some electronics on that side, nothing on this side, more ventilation. Oh, I can see some fans actually on this side. And then on the back side here, we got DTV Electronics. It also says want clue. I'm not familiar with that. We'll have to take a little closer look on the website. And we have a barrel connector there. Taking a look on the bottom, nothing here, but we have 4 screws. Let's see what else is in the box. Oh, we got lots of goodies in here. Let's see, a manual. Oh, look at that, actually shows it opened up. I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. I want to talk about miners being fixable or being available to be worked on. I think that's super important, especially for home miners. What do we have here? Wow, this is a beefy power supply. All right, so here's our power supply here. We have a barrel connector, and then we're just going to use a normal C14 to NEMA 515 plug. And this says 100 to 240 volt, 50 to 60 hertz, 3 amps. On our output, we're looking at 12 volt at 8 amps, 96 watts. So we're not going to be using a ton of power for this. So all in all, what I'm very interested in is the fact that this looks super easy to work on. And in a utopian world, and we all know this isn't true, in a utopian world, you'll never have to work on or mess with your home Bitcoin miner, right? But let's be honest. In a realistic world, there's always something that you're going to have to tinker with, mess with, change out, repaste. And so I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and let's take a closer look at the Bitforge Nano home solo Bitcoin miner. All right, so the goal here is not to lose any screws, okay? All right, so it looks like we have 4 screws on the bottom here. And let's get this opened up. Let's be honest here. Any of you guys that own home solo miners, like, you have had to open them up to either clean them, to repaste them, to swap out a broken fan, something, right? You've had to do it at some point. And some of these home miners are sealed up like a new age car. Like, it literally is plastic upon plastic upon plastic. And it's an absolute nightmare just to get to where you want to be to work on these things. Well, 4 screws later, and we're able to work on our Bitforge Nano, which I think is a great selling point. I didn't see it anywhere on their website, but I'm putting it out there as a great selling point here. So let's take a look here what we're looking at. And So we have the ESP chip there. I'm just kind of rotating everything around. Yep, right here. Here's our ESP32 chip that you guys do see. We have this massive heat sink here, which I love to see. It looks like an aluminum heat sink. And look at this. You can actually see directly underneath of this here, giving us some nice airflow that's able to travel underneath on the back side of the actual ASIC chip that we have. We have our two connectors for our fan. We have our barrel connector here, and our two fans here. Now I'm very curious. These absolutely remind me of the mosquito fans that was on my Jazz Miner that ended up replacing out of that thing. Remember it was like the Jazz Miner X4 1U? I think Rabid Mining call it the mosquito miner. I'm hoping these aren't that loud. I can't imagine as a home miner, but we never know. We're definitely gonna have to see how this works out. But other than that, there isn't really a lot to this. So the nice thing is, oh look, let's see, does this come off? Oh, there's a screw here. I'd have to remove this screw as well to pull it off of the chassis. And there is a little USB-C port here if we needed to get access into that. But the nice thing is, oh, it even has like down there, I don't know if you guys can see that, designed in Germany, DTV Electronics, one clue technologies is what it says in there. It says open source hardware. That's all stamped. I'm like reading it right down in there that we can just barely see inside of there. Oh, look, and here's our reset. There's a reset button here, and boot is all on there as well. This is slick. I can't believe they were able to fit 2 of the BM1370 chips on this. Nice thing is let's say I need to go ahead and repaste this. I've had to do that with some home miners. Nice thing is I could come in here, undo this screw, pull it off, undo the heat sink, repaste it, and put everything back together in like 10 minutes. So kudos to the team over at Bitforge for just making this workable. You know, I love to see it. All right, let's get this back together, get it powered on. I want to see what these different hash modes are and what the watts are at the wall. Let's learn a little bit more about the Bitforge Nano. So I'm over here over at DTV Electronics. I'm going to leave a link directly down below. And we can come in here to store, and this is where they have all their different miners available. And here it is, the Bitforge Nano Solo Bitcoin Miner. And let's take a closer look. And I love the fact that they're kind of touting open source here. Kudos to them. I think that's absolutely awesome. So 2.6 terahash of dual BM1370 ASICs. That's awesome. Some newer generation ASICs in there, and 2 of them in that little tiny box. I mean, that's absolutely crazy how they fit that in there. This runs off of a 12-volt miner, as it says here, customizable firmware, multiple power modes, and ships to multiple regions, which is fantastic. So let's go ahead and scroll down here. Oh, one thing stands out. Look at this, $239.99. I love when like the prices of these are very home miner friendly. I love to see it when we're not spending thousands of dollars for these things. If we were to go over to Solo Luck, we'll type in 2.6 terahash. This is going to give you some more realistic data on what are your chances to hit a solo Bitcoin block with this miner. Remember, we said this is a solo Bitcoin miner. This isn't a pool miner that you would plug in and earn Bitcoin every single day with. This is a miner that you play the Bitcoin lottery. Nice thing is the Bitcoin lottery pops off every 10 minutes when a block is hit. You can see, look, there's a little countdown timer happening right here. So per year, this has a 1 in 6,577 chance to hit a Bitcoin block. Now, a lot of you guys have started mining other alternative coins that are on the SHA-256 algorithm, which you could do with this unit. So let's look at like Bitcoin Cash. That's one that's super common right now that people are looking at. And if we take a look at calculate there and scroll down, you know, if we look at the same metric of a per year, look at this, 1 in 55 chance to hit a Bitcoin Cash block. If we come up, and I know another popular one is Digibyte. Where are you at? Am I passing it? I think or it's not, there it is, Digibyte. I was passing it. Let's hit calculate. And Digibyte per year, it's saying you're going to hit 21.96 blocks. So keep that in mind that a lot of people will actually solo mine other SHA-256 blocks. When they hit blocks, they'll then roll it into Bitcoin, and they'll use that as this kind of weird hybrid solo profitable avenue to go. All right, moment of truth. I do have a watt meter set up, so we're going to take a closer look to see how many watts this is using from the different power modes. We're all set up here with our barrel plug, and you know, if we talked about it, we actually didn't. There's no Ethernet, so we're going to run entirely off of wireless. So I'm curious. Let's plug this in. You can actually barely even hear it. It's like just power. The fans spun up. They're not the mosquito fans, which is great. And they quieted down, and you can barely hear this thing. Let me check my phone real quick. And I do, let's see. Okay, so it is giving off an ad hoc wireless, kind of like some of the Bidax Gammas and stuff like that. This one says Nano that we can connect to. So let me get this connected to my home wireless. All right, so we got it on our network just via my cell phone, put in my SSID and password, and check this out. This is a really sweet interface. Kudos to their team. Like, this is crazy, crazy friendly. Like, I love it. Lots of color, lots of information on it. So right now I'm at 2.12 terahash, which is wild to me. It looks like it's automatically set on medium mode. Eager to see, you know, all the different modes here. So we have pool information here. It looks like by default it's on CK pool. We have our temperature monitoring here, our uptime. Look at that, 1 minute and 22, and everything is configured there. This is awesome. So let's look here on the left-hand side. We do have the swarm mechanic, which if we had bought a number of these, you know, you could find them a lot easier. We do have network over here. You can see it's on my SSID Poca Center, and the password is set up, and the host name was actually default by Bitforge. It made it easy to find on my Ubiquiti setup. Now for pool settings, I'm actually going to come in here, and I'm actually going to swap the failback to CK pool. I rather prefer that, to be honest with you. But we need to get rid of their mining information because we're not mining as someone else's wallet. Come on. And what I'm going to do is actually, I have Umbrel set up where so you can actually set up your own home node and mine your own pool and your own node. That's what I've done here. If you guys have never seen that, never heard of that, I'll leave a link down below to that video. Very easy on how to set that up. We have Bitcoin knots up and running. We're 100% synced over here. And we're actually running Bassin pool right now for all of our miners in here, as well as my son's miner as well. So I'm actually need to do a few things. First thing I need to do is down here, it actually gives us the stratum information. So the local IP for the node and then 3456. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to put that in here. It says do not include the TCP or the port. So I'm going to take the port. We're going to delete that out of there. And we're going to paste that in there. But then it does need the Bitcoin address. So I'm just going to grab this Bitcoin address. And we're going to drop that in there. And it's called Bitforge Nano. Perfect. Password, we're just going to put as an X. No big deal there. We're going to put the same address in as a backup. So if my local node goes down, it'll at least solo mine to solo.ck pool. My Bitcoin address, which is good. And we're going to hit X. And I'm going to hit save. Now, it does say you must restart this device for the settings to take place. So I'm going to wait to restart because what I want to do is look at settings here. Here is what I wanted to see. So in here, there's an eco, a medium, and a power mode. And we're on medium now. And I'm going to keep it all to automatic fan control. I think that's important. Let the miner manage itself. So I'm going to select eco mode. And we've already set it to our setup here. So I'm now just going to go ahead and go to restart system. All right, so let's take a look at our metrics here. So the efficiency on these different modes is definitely competitive. Absolutely, especially for a price of $240. The hash rates have remained pretty consistent there, 1.7, 2.1, 2.5, upwards of where we're at with the power mode. And, you know, our watts, 33, 51, 59. So you can see our efficiency. I mean, the eco mode, it is doing good at 19 when it comes in for an efficiency number. We're at about 23 for medium and 22.8 for the power mode there. And the miner does, you know, the nice thing about this miner is the dB levels are something I've started to add to a lot of my testing. We've come in pretty good here, 39, 44, 48. Now, looking at just two other miners close on the sheet here, the BG01, you know, that efficiency is coming in at the 25 marker. The Terminus A2Z, that comes in a little bit better at the 20 marker. But when you overclock it, it gets up there about the 23. So it's definitely, they're all within that range. So all very, very competitive. I think one of the things that really stood out to me that I saw that I like everything about this miner, but the one thing that I noticed was that within settings, you don't have an overclock mode. Love to see that. I'd love to see the feature. And maybe if I'm missing it, someone reach out, but I'd love to see a feature here that we can click on and overclock this, adjust the frequency, adjust the voltage, especially being an open source miner. Love to have that ability to go ahead and do that. Listen, before we go, should I say before we do a giveaway for the Bitforge Nano solo Bitcoin miner, thanks to the team at DTV Electronics. If you guys are interested, reading more about this, go over and check it out. I'll put a link directly down below to their website. Go over, check it out. Tell them that the hobbyist sent you. Once again, huge shout out to DTV Electronics for sending us over the Bitforge Nano solo Bitcoin miner. Guys, how do you enter the giveaway for this one? So this is the second unit that they sent over. Huge shout out to them. This will be available worldwide, not limited to any country or anything like that. But how do you enter this giveaway? Well, if you guys could rename this to something new, something different, what would it be? Go ahead and enter a comment down below. You can't take mine. Mine is the little black box. You can't take mine. But leave your fun name down below in the comments. We'll send that over to the team, the engineers and designers, get their thoughts on some of those. But we will pick one winner in 2 weeks, and I will cover the upfront shipping to send this anywhere in the world. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video on the Nano. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.